YouTube, what's happening? Welcome back to the freaking channel. Today I had something totally different planned. Totally different. Got these girls still hanging out, chilling. Tranny's out obviously, waiting to get that figured out. But today I had a totally different video planned. Man, I see a lot of negativity online. I get a handful of hate. I get, you know, people say like just hateful things. And I was in a thread today, like a local YouTuber's little thread that we had going on. So one of the guys had asked in our group, he said, motive check. What's your core value? I can't get enough of real life people that share actual stories of what success feels like. And it's crazy because I read that, and then just today, while I was mentoring in the middle school with, I mentored with a few kids in the middle school. I was hanging out there, and I had one of the teachers come up and talk to me for just a quick second, but he was telling me how big of an impact I've made on some of the kids' lives there, and how cool it is to do what I do while still I got a lot going on. I have a wife and I have kids, I have all this, and what I wanted to do is just take a few minutes, share with you guys a little bit. You ain't getting the whole story. Y'all don't think y'all could handle it. You guys are probably looking at me like, holy cow. But we're gonna break it down here for you real quick, all right? So I'm gonna set this up on a tripod. We're gonna talk for a minute. It might be boring to a lot of you, but if one person can get value out of this, and maybe it kind of changes their perspective on things and shows them that they're really not in a bad place. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, the world screwed me over. Poor me, you're so lucky. I hear it all the time where people are like, dude, it must be rough. Yeah, it was rough. It was really rough when I had absolutely nothing. My wife filed for divorce and I had nothing except for bad habits and addiction. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick seat here as we're gonna talk. A lot of people are very negative and they see the Lamborghini and they instantly assume that that car was given to me, that I have it easy, that I was lucky, that I'm rich, that I'm a millionaire, that I don't know what it's like to struggle. So we're gonna break this down. We're gonna do it pretty quick, give you a little backstory, maybe I'll let you know a little bit more about me and kind of what my mission is and how this whole YouTube thing started. Because back in February of 2018, was it that? Okay, yeah, so 2 years ago, I was deathly afraid to be on video. You could say, hey, Ryan, $1 million bucks. You take this phone, take a 30-second video, put it out on Instagram. $1 million, I could not do it. I was scared to death of being on video. I went out to 10X Growth Conference. I saw Hank Norman. I don't know if he still has the program, but he had a program and it was to get you comfortable being on camera. At that time, I had zero interest in having a YouTube channel. I didn't really see the point. I'm old. I don't really do that cool stuff. Also at this time, I had started mentoring in the schools. I guess a little backstory from that is, let's go back to October 12th, 2013. I think that's when it was. But that was the last day that I've had a drop of alcohol. So I was a commercial roofer. I had all the bad habits. I was into everything that I should not be. And it was just, I was in a bad place, very bad place. I wouldn't come home at night. My wife would be sitting at home raising our little boy, my son. And it's like super embarrassing to kind of talk about because I feel like I just can't imagine being in that position that I had put myself in and my family in. Long story short, my wife finally had had enough. She files for divorce, she moves, she takes my son. At this time, the only thing I knew how to do was to party, to drink, do many other things that were not good things. That night changed my entire life, and I'll tell you that whole story sometime. Maybe if we get to like 10,000 subs, I'll tell you guys that story. But it's crazy. I'm lucky to be here now, and that's all I'm gonna tell you about it. But that day changed my life, and I made a decision that day that I am gonna make a change, and I'm gonna live the rest of my life with a purpose to help other people. I had no idea how I would do it. At that point, I needed the help. I had no money. I had a wife that was just leaving me. We were renting a house that was on contract that we were getting about ready to get kicked out of the contract on because they wanted more money. Craziness. And I had ran my wife off with my son, and so took some time, try to put that back together, but I did, and I've always used material things. So I used to, when my son was born, now almost 9 years ago, I had put like on Facebook and everything, I always talked about having a Lamborghini. And everyone's like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, why? You sound like an idiot because you put this stupid stuff out there and you're not gonna have one. And I always said, my son's first day of 9th grade, first day of high school, I'm gonna drive him to school in a Lamborghini. And then I would follow it up by, even if I have to steal it, because in my mind, really, if we're telling the truth here, I didn't know, there was no way for me to really imagine ever getting to that point of having a Lamborghini. So that was always something I talked about, and I talked about it, and I talked about it, and then I had quit my job. I was making almost 40 bucks an hour because it was toxic. And then I went out and I went into a landscaping company. I tried that, and that worked. We made money, but it wasn't a good partnership. And so then that crumbled apart, and then I had to go back to what I knew how to do, which was commercial roofing. I have no skills. I don't have skills. I'm not an expert at anything, but I knew how to put on a really, really good commercial roof. So that's what I started doing. The problem was I couldn't get big jobs because I was just a little guy. It was me and a trailer and like a buddy or two. So we started doing little house flat roofs, porches, all this stuff, the crappiest crap work that nobody else would take on. And I just worked harder than everybody. And that's been so when I quit drinking, I had nowhere to go. I couldn't go backwards. Like I couldn't go any lower than where I was. And I just kept this vision. So I would sit. All right, check this out. So I built these offices. So this is a little while into. So when we bought this property here, the deal went bad at the house we were living in before, and we were on a contract for deed. And we found this. It took us 7 months to close. It was miserable. I had the vision. I knew I wanted this place, but I had this vision when we walked in here. So we walked into this pole barn, my shop here, and everything was wide open. This was wide open. This up here was like a piece of wood, and it was flat. The ceiling stayed true right here. See how the ceiling comes in and it goes up? This ceiling came straight across here, and this was nothing. So I talked to a couple contractors and said, hey, I want to build this. I want to build a office up here, and I'm like, I want to have a big old desk. And they're like, well, you can't. Like you can't do that here. Like, well, why not? Because your ceiling height, everything, you'd be up in your trusses. It's a pole barn, dude. Like, just leave it alone. I'm like, well, no, that's what I want. I want my office is here, and I had this vision. And this is the vision I had. Right here. This is it. This was my vision. Long story short, nobody would help me with it. So I told my guys, my buddies, the homies, I said, dude, here's what I'm doing. I started buying lumber. We started standing walls up. We just made it work. And then here is what it turned into. I used to sit, all I had in here, I had a desk right here, little black IKEA desk. So I would sit at that little black desk, and this Lambo would sit right on the edge of my desk, right there. And I would sit here and I would visualize looking out this window at a Lamborghini. Boom. Now, I got my big desk. This is the desk I wanted. This is the desk I dreamed about. It's like a $6,000 freaking desk. Unnecessary, yes, absolutely, but it was what I dreamed about. This thing sat on my desk. Now this is what we got on the desk. Now when people hear me talk about wanting big things and having big goals, I don't get that anymore. I don't get the made fun of. You know, I get some people like, hey, don't forget where you came from. It's like, dude, I remember every single freaking day where I came from, and I never will go back there. And you're always one decision away. So this is a conversation I had today too. I was hanging out with a buddy today who went through some really, really rough patches of his life just kind of recently, and we sat down. We had a 3-hour conversation, and I opened up. I told him all about all my stuff that I keep to myself because it's my own crap. It's what I went through. It's nobody else's problem. And in total now, I've kind of sat down with like 3 or 4, maybe like 7 people. 3 or 4 like really people that I really worked with. and just told them what worked for me. And to see these people's lives completely transform from a conversation they had made me, when I read that post today, I was like, you know what? I need to share this. And if there's, I don't care, you guys come on the comments, you can hate on it, you can say whatever you want. I know there are those people out there that are stuck in their ways and they don't want to, and they feel like they're so far away. I was so far away. I was dead broke and all I knew how to do was roof. That's it. That's it. And this isn't like 30 years ago. This is now 7 years. The business it took 4 years to even really get going to where I made any real money. I've changed my mindset. I've changed what I do. I've changed my whole, everything I want to do in life, because now I've devoted everything I do. First of all, the construction makes me, that's where I make my money. My construction company pays my bills and allows me to have a YouTube channel. It allows me to have a board like this, to be doing stuff like this. We started a carbon fiber company. I've got the Civic build going here. I got a podcast going. So I got all this stuff going because of that one decision I made. And then sticking to it, and then outworking everybody else. So many people get in and I get asked all the time about YouTube. How much money do you make on YouTube? Yeah, negative 3,500, negative 40. I don't make any money. I'm not even monetized. My channel's not even monetized. I don't make $1. I do this out of pure passion, and from some of the hate that I get from on Instagram, from on YouTube, like I've thought about it before and I'm like, why don't I just quit? It doesn't make me any money. I can go make a lot of money in my time. That I don't need to be doing videos. I don't need to be acting like a kid. And then I remember why I started it. So I started my YouTube channel. This was right after I was finally getting comfortable doing some little selfie videos. So I would go mentor at the school, and the kids, after they saw me a few times, they saw they had the Lambo, you know, they talked to my son. I've got tattoos, I'm fully sleeved. So then when I would go to the school, these kids started talking, and they had their own, you know, their kids. So these kids thought, well, you're a YouTuber. That's what they tell me. We know why you don't tell us your YouTube channel. I'm like, no, I don't have a YouTube channel. Like, hey, dude, that's the only way you can have tattoos and a Lamborghini, because they assumed that if you have tattoos, you can't have a job. And then they had assumed that since I had a Lamborghini, I had to be a YouTuber, because the only dudes that they saw with tattoos and Lamborghinis were on YouTube. Shout out Daily Driven Exotics. That's who they were. That's who, when kids think of exotic cars, kids live on YouTube. So I'm telling them, like, no, I don't have a YouTube. And I really didn't. I had no intentions on starting one. And then they came to the conclusion that my YouTube channel, I swore in it a lot. So that's why I wouldn't tell them it. I wouldn't tell them the name of the channel, because I swore in it. So that's what they were dead set on. Fast forward a little bit, I ran into Tall Guy Car Reviews, Mr. Organic. Huge shout out to them. They're what started all of this, which, I mean, all of it. It ain't nothing yet, but it's gonna be. So I went, they did a review. Tall Guy did a car review on my car. He had the Hellkeezy. We revved off, we had the cops come, and we did donuts with Mr. Organic. It was awesome. And I told him, when I started talking to him, I realized, like, dude, these are real dudes. These are real, legit, like, these dudes have been through it, and we aligned so perfectly with our mindsets and just outworking everybody else. Always just outwork, outwork, outwork. In the video, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here, pull a clip up. I had said, you know, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I just don't know how, but all these kids think I have one already. And Tall Guy comes over and he says,
and we're gonna start a YouTube channel for you too, right?
We might.
You see how I'm speaking it out there? I'm throwing it out there. We just got done talking about this, but now we're on camera. Yeah. I gotta force you to make the channel, brother.
Right, then I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I might have to, because all the kids that I run into are like, what's your YouTube? I know you got a YouTube, because you don't have a Lambo unless you got a YouTube. And then he tells me, he's like, you got 24 hours to get a YouTube channel. What? Like, what? Like, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm like, all right, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? Like, I get some hate. I get some people that think I'm an idiot. I suck on camera. All it's gonna do is teach me to be better on camera. I don't know how to edit, so I can learn that. I don't know how to, I didn't have a good camera. I mean, I have my little point and shoot camera. Like, all right. And then I look out and I see them, they got like GoPros and point and shoot cameras. So I'm like, whoa, dude, I could do this. And that was it. Then we were off to the races, took off quick. G Squad came over. Shout out to all you guys that came from the G Squad, whenever we started this a little over a year ago. And then it just evolved into this thing where now I go into the school and these kids want merch, and these kids, I've got all these kids. And shout out to all you kids that are watching this that are local here, because you guys are the reason that this channel exists and will continue to exist. There ain't no money in it for me. Hopefully someday there is some, because I freaking wreck everything and I want to bring killer content to you guys. But I also want to help. My point of my YouTube channel is to bring value to others, even if it's one person. If I get one person that hits me up, it's like, dude, that helped, or that gave me motivation. That gave me, I literally was freaking dead broke. I had no money and zero skills. I knew how to roof. Who cares? Who cares? It's roofing, like nothing. And then I had these, but then I always have talked big. I've set these goals. I have a vision board over here. I keep track of my stuff now. And then I got into podcasts. I got into listening to podcasts. I got into MFC Andy for selling. That changed my whole freaking life. And he was into Lamborghinis. And then I'm like, dude, this is like meant to be. Look at this dude. Tattoos from St. Louis. He can build this huge company. Like, why can't I build a huge company? Why can't I do all this stuff? Why can't I be helping people? Why can't I have 1 million followers on Instagram? Why not? Because I don't know how? Like, so what? Find an expert that knows how. So, that's kind of, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight, a little bit of background on who I am, what my goal is, what my mission is with this channel. And it is to hopefully just empower, especially in the kids, younger kids, also older people. You can make the change anytime you want. And feel free to reach out to me. It's Lambo_dad, right here. On Instagram, shoot me a DM. Like, seriously, I try to answer every single DM I get, which isn't a ton. We're about to drop a Shopify, or the Lambo Dad Lounge shop. So I'm about to have some fresh gear, and we're changing it up. It's been Lambo Dad. It's gonna be Lambo Fam, because this channel's not about me. It's not about, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, dude, if someone handed me a camera dad shirt like that, I'm not gonna wear that. That's not me. So that is the new line of clothes that are gonna be coming out. It's gonna be Lambo Fam. So if you hit me on Instagram or message me on there or post anything, make sure to tag me at Lambo Dad and then hashtag Lambo Fam. So we're gonna try to bring that up. I've been working really hard on bringing some fresh clothes. I got a carbon fiber. We got carbon fiber wallets that are gonna be on there. Obviously we got gold. We got forged gold, carbon. So yeah, that's me. That's what's up. I'm sorry there's not donate. I had a different video for you guys. It was probably, the other video probably would have been way more interesting than this was. But it's just, lately I've been really working hard on helping others. That's my goal in life, is to help others, bring value to others. I made a promise on that day in October that I was gonna change my life. First and foremost, I was gonna change me. And then when I got to where I could help others, I was gonna bring people with me and help them. So I hope that this helps a little bit to someone, just gives you a little bit of motivation no matter what you're going through. You're literally one little freaking decision away from changing your entire life. Hit me up, come find me on Instagram. I wanna talk to you. Seriously, like I do. Like, I love chatting with people. I've got a podcast, I'm gonna link that below. It's the Lambo Dad Lounge. We're gonna do a review. I got a new camera. I don't know how to use it, no clue. So if you're like an expert at this Sony A7 III something blah blah blah, hit me up. It's way too heavy to be holding this thing. It's gonna be terrible. I think I might stick with the one I have. This is day up. This is Thursday. This video was completely supposed to be 100% something different. And this just was weighing on me that I wanted to put this out there. Caring about what other people think. And you will be so much better off. And don't get me wrong, it bugs the crap out of me still. I've had to get so much better at just letting it. Those people that are ripping on you for trying to make a difference are the problem. And they're miserable. They're the ones that need the help the most. So just know that's how I feel. So when you slide in my DM talking trash, that's how I feel about you. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. That's it. Peace!